I am David.
Hello.
Hello.
So basically the purpose of our website was to be able to provide a basic breakdown of information that prospective home buyers could review if they're moving to Seattle or if they're buying a house for the first time. So we kind of wanted to provide some information that would help them. We basically broke it down into 3 income levels. Our first is 65 to 150, and then 150 to 250, and 250 to 400. And basically, they can just sign in, and then they will pick their annual income, and then based on that, they'll get suggestions of what kind of property they should look for, and what area of Seattle they can live in based on their income. And so that's kind of the basis for our website. So we broke it down into 4 different regions: north, south, east, and west. Basically, that's kind of the basis for it. So if Dave, you want to talk about the functionality?
Sure. So on the, as you can see, this is a sign-in page here, and you just enter your information to go forward in the site. And after you get through the login information here, it takes you over to our income selector. Once you select your income level, I'm going to do the last one, by the way. It's going to bring up what average list price is, square footage, and down payment is in this prospective area here that we have here. So, and then once you click on that area, you kind of get a rundown of what's going on in that specific area. So we give you a little blurb about it, a photo, and you can of course go back to the home page or back to the income selector page in case you messed up or you want to select a different region as well. What we also did was we put you start to see a toggle menu over here to take you to each page to show you each level of income and also that area as well. So that's the functionality there.
And we got our data from Redfin.
So we did it.
Basically took the average price of a condo or house in each of the 4 regions.
Right.
And each of the 4 regions has their own page, so it kind of talks about like what neighborhoods have parks, which ones have restaurants. But if you go back to the income selector, like we looked at the highest income level. If you go to the 65 to 150, it shows a different table. So based on your income, maybe you can only afford a condo in northeast or west regions of Seattle, and south you might look for a house. So it's tailored to the income level that you have.
Yeah. So go ahead and select the median as well.
And then
You can see
you can
it.
and then the user is able to click on each region
Right.
to get some information about it.
Right, and so we actually ended up splitting most of the work pretty evenly. We all had a landing page, north, south, east, west. We definitely took the time out to make sure that originally our constructor function was exactly the same, so we all had involvement in that and worked on that as a team.
Yeah, there was a lot of pair programming, I would say, initially. We
Right.
all sort of set up the constructor together, we set up the pages together, and then we slowly kind of siloed and worked on different projects. We would create issues in GitHub and assign them. Oh, someone wants to take that one. Thomas, you're the
Right.
CSS king, you take this one.
Exactly, yeah. So the style was universal. Once we came up with the styling that we liked for the page, we transferred that to each page to make it all look the same, make it a fluid website for you to go through.
That was a huge challenge, though.
That was definitely a huge challenge.
One of the big challenges was trying to, because like with 4 people, everyone wants a different style. Everyone's going to do something a little differently. So we literally had like 3 CSS pages, and it drove Thomas crazy.
So that brings us to our
Some
issues.
challenges, yeah.
Yeah, so that brings us to some of the issues that we have. One of the things that we struggled with mightily was GitHub. We struggled over and over again with merge conflicts, and it's because we were using branches incorrectly. We created some branches and we were kind of all working on them on the same branch, and then trying to push that, and it just created conflicts over and over and over again. But with that, of course, you're going to learn as you go through that, and we did. Another one of the issues that we had was communicating merge and pull requests when we weren't all together. And there's a couple times where I had some time doing work to kind of work on a few things in the JavaScript, and I would, say, hey, I'm going to, push this, and then it would cause conflicts because we weren't all together. Another issue that we had was the CSS that she mentioned before. We had way too many CSS pages. We found out that we can just do one pretty much for all the pages, so it worked out very good that way. So we started out with a little bit of files, and it had more files, and it came back down to some smaller files. So it worked out good for us. Yeah. So we want to go
I
through.
say, what was fun? The fun part was the whole team. I feel like
Yeah.
we
Worked well together.
we worked really well together. And
communication.
like in my head, it was like, oh, final project. This is going to be like stressful, or this is the big finale. But I feel like it was the easiest 2 weeks I had.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
because.
definitely.
Like one of the most helpful things was literally just like starting off, making sure that we weren't concerned with the initial coding like we were told, and then putting it all out there on whiteboard, so we knew exactly what we wanted in each step and on each page. It just gave us a goal to literally shoot at and then go forward, make sure we had it, and we could always go back to that because that's what we, intended to do originally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the first night was like one of the best nights as far as like being on the same page,
Oh, yeah.
because like come up with this idea from scratch and then we factor it. And
Yeah.
that's just part of the process. Like,
Yeah, definitely.
we factor it, simplify it, make sure everyone's on the same page, and then create issues and start working on different parts of the code.
Take Dan's advice. Do not start coding until you have your entire plan
Yeah,
in place.
plan together, yeah.
Because you would have wasted a lot of time.
Do we want to go through the what we all contributed to the?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go first.
Okay.
So my contributions were the sign-in form, the hand-picked background of Seattle. Went through a lot of pictures for that.
Found the
And,
only one that covers Mount Rainier.
Yeah, we got Mount Rainier and the Great Wheel in there in the sunset. And also the local storage I worked on and transmitting and carrying that over to personalize the page.
Did the East Lake.
Yes, I did the East Landing page with full content that I want.
Oh, nice. Right.
I did the table and had the rendering of the table and like the 3 different selections based on what you pick. And then I did the West landing page.
Oh, nice. If you will, on the income selector page, I did the event to have the table viewable. I also helped get the data into the table, and then I did the South landing page.
So yeah, I did a lot of the styling. I wanted to take on styling because I was terrible at it. So I figured I would use this project to learn something about the thing I avoided. And then, so, the buttons down here, the menu, the hamburger stack menu was a big thing. But my key focus was making sure things were uniform. So like noticing the multiple CSS pages, and then seeing how like that could affect a range of options, or like even just movement when you go to page, based on that, like drove me nuts. So literally, once we narrowed it down, made sure everyone was on the same page, it helped a lot in that process.
All right. Cool.
Any
Any
questions?
questions?
I like your name.
Thank you.
That was Thomas.
Yeah, that was all time.
Credit.
If you could do it all over again, what would you do differently?
We would probably change the way we utilize GitHub for sure. To start with, I think we spent a couple of days actually trying to get through that struggle. And we kind of halted in our coding because of the GitHub issues. So I think it would be that. Yeah, for sure. Me personally.
Yeah, I think maybe like if from the beginning if we had assigned like lines to work on functions, that all the merge conflicts, and that was the hardest to get over because, like, I think at one of the merge conflicts had like 40 issues. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
we're spending 45 minutes going through
Yeah.
these issues when we could have been doing it in